Hey, thanks for the birthday wishes and the reach outs. I appreciate that. August 21st, this video, 2 years ago, I had surgery on my Achilles tendon right around this time. And that was an injury. Today I was back in the gym. And I at the time had thought that, basketball was on the shelf. I said, I remember just playing pickup ball in Chicago one day, made a baseline jump shot, backpedal on the back pedal. I heard this loud noise, pop. I thought I had kicked this organ in the back of this church gym. I look around like, man, that organ was like 10, 15 feet behind it. I'm like, I ain't kicked that organ. But I'm down on the ground trying to figure out what happened. I stand up, sound like a gunshot. It was loud. I still don't know what happened. My man was already down, I left him in the dust off the step back. I stand up, a guy helps me off the ground. He's like, man, John, I see you trying to walk it off to the ground, feel like it's uneven. I was like, yeah. He's like, you feel like you got a big old hill on it? Like a big arch? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, dang, man. That's that Achilles tendon. And just right then and there, it didn't even hurt. I just was like in a state of disbelief. But I share this with you because in that same time period, maybe that 3 months or 6 month time period in 2015, 11 of my friends and other people I knew had done the exact same thing. And they was all men over the age of 29 playing basketball and frequently got out there and ruptured the Achilles tendon. I'm no exception to the rule, but I'm grateful for that experience, that setback, taught me a lot, and so God has a way of sitting all of us down. And with the sport of basketball, it's very hard to come back to. Most people don't at all. Chauncey Billups ruptured his Achilles when he's playing with the Los Angeles Clippers, He didn't, he came back, but he was not the same. Kobe Bryant, however, the Black Mamba, he ruptured his Achilles. He also was born in August. He's a Leo, determined. But he was humbled and he sat down after he ruptured his Achilles tendon. But Kobe, the Black Mamba, is different from everybody else. He ended up with 60 points on his last game. Be humble, sit down, go talk to the media for an hour, and that's why he's one of the greatest of all time. Now, for the rest of us, guys like Jonathan Morris that work security, during the summertime for Ball Up television and things like that, that go out there infrequently and play pickup basketball. When that's not your full-time job, you don't have proper training, nor are you stretched, nor have you been conditioned to just get out here and go hard. Boom. Achilles. And so, but I want to share this, that you can come back. In life, you can come back. Anytime, man. You can come back. And so, just when I put it on the shelf, I said, let me focus on other things. When I ruptured my Achilles, the first thing I said was, dang, just like anybody else would. But after I processed it, on my way to the hospital, laying in that back seat with my leg up in the car, man, I said, Lord, I thank you for what you've blessed me with in the game of basketball. I thank you for the doors that you've opened in my life. I thank you for the income that's been provided to me through this sport and all the friends and all the great things that this game and this sport has provided me. Lord, I thank you for those opportunities. And I was saying that on my way to the hospital. I go in, they say, I need surgery. My spirit was always, hey, this is part of life. I took that time and said, let me tap into some other skills. For me, I listened to a client of mine. And I said, he said, why don't you write on the subject matter? You seem knowledgeable on it. You have insight. You helped me. I researched it. I sat down at the house. I couldn't drive to the office and work. I couldn't go to the gym. You know, you're in crutches, you're in the cash, you know, your Achilles out, you could be done for a year, you try not to gain weight. I mean, that's the process. You have to go through that, and all of us do. I mean, 11 guys over 6 months who did that, just playing basketball infrequently, who rushed their Achilles. You know, you go through that process, and there's surgery, and there's rehab, but it's what you do with your time. And I just tapped into the other part of myself, you know, who I was trained to be, you know, artist by nature, and I took the literary side of me and said, hey, the Drunk Dial, 2nd edition, man, work on that. 1st edition, the concept, the idea. I think we saw the 2nd edition, and then we saw the 1st edition, because I wanted to say, hey, we can back into this thing. You know, we can focus on different parts of it. We can focus on, you know, the effects of alcohol, the effects of drugs, the effects of illicit substances, the effects of peer pressure, the effects of choices, daily decision making, our routine, you know, what we include, what's not included. You know, it's all the process, the process. And so I invite you to, you know, subscribe, you know, to my channel and walk through this thing with me. You know, let's encourage one another. Life is short, nothing is promised. You know, because I'm in this field now of writing and paying attention to drivers behind the wheel of a car, there's fatalities happening on a regular basis. So let's not be, you know, so caught up into what's going on that we don't take time and make sure we're making the right choices with close examination. Let every man be persuaded in his own mind.